What would you do if you accidentally killed one of the most dangerous men in the city, and the only person who could save you was a mafia boss who has been searching for you for 10 whole years? Not just any mafia boss, the most feared man alive. The kind of man who owns the streets, commands armies, and has never once in his life begged for anything. And here's the part nobody sees coming. He already knows you. He never forgot you. While you were living your quiet little life as a tailor, minding your business, stitching suits for rich men with bad intentions, he was out there building an entire empire for you. This is the story of Megan Shaw and Dean Russo. It starts with a dead body and a terrified woman. It ends with a wedding and a graveyard, and in between, there is betrayal from the people closest to them, a best friend lost to a traitor's whisper, a woman with a gun who refuses to stay behind, and a love that somehow survives all of it. Stay with me, because this one is going to break your heart before it puts it back together. Meet Megan Shaw. She is a tailor, one of the best in the city. She works at a high-end boutique where powerful men come for perfectly fitted suits. She is brilliant with her hands, sharp with her mind, and she has built a quiet, steady life for herself. She does not look for drama. She does not want trouble. She just wants to do her job and go home. But the universe had other plans. The one person who keeps Megan grounded in this world is her best friend, Fiona. They are sisters in every way that counts. Fiona is loyal, warm, and brave, the kind of person who would take a bullet for you without thinking twice. When Megan says Fiona is all she has ever had, she means it completely. Every woman deserves a friend like Fiona. Now, Dean Russo. The name alone is enough to make powerful men in this city go quiet. He is the boss of the Russo crime family, untouchable, cold on the surface, and absolutely ruthless when it comes to protecting what is his. He walks through life like the world belongs to him, because in many ways, it does. His right-hand man, Marco, never leaves his side. His word is final. Nobody questions him twice. But here is what nobody knows about Dean Russo. He carries a memory that has never left him. A campsite called Blue Jade. A girl who saw him when he was broken and in trouble and helped him without asking for a single thing in return. A girl who told him, anytime you need help, find me. He never forgot her face. He never forgot that tattoo that matched hers. He has been looking for her ever since. That girl is Megan. And tonight, after 10 long years, she is about to walk right back into his world. The night everything changed. The evening starts as a routine appointment, a new client, a fitting for a custom suit. Megan is calm, professional, focused. She does her job. But her client tonight is Luca Marini. And Luca Marini is not a man who respects limits. He is charming at first, the way dangerous men always are at first. But as Megan moves through the fitting, Luca decides he wants more than a suit. He leans in close, drops his voice into something dark, and says something he should never have said to her. You smell good, baby. Megan's spine stiffens immediately. She tells him to show some respect. He doesn't. She tells him to stop. He doesn't. And then things escalate fast. Hands grabbing, a struggle breaking out, and in the middle of the chaos, there is a gun. In the terrifying blur of that moment, with Luca trying to take the gun from her, with her heart hammering and her body shaking, the gun goes off. Luca Marini drops to the floor. He does not get up. Megan stands there, completely still, staring at what just happened. She is not a criminal. She is not a killer. She is a tailor who just defended herself against a man who was not going to stop. But none of that matters right now, because Luca Marini is dead on her floor, and the name Marini means something very specific in this city. It means power. It means fear. It means that somewhere out there, Luca's twin brother Lorenzo, equally brutal, possibly even more so, is going to find out. And Lorenzo does not believe in accidents. He does not believe in mercy. He believes in blood for blood. Megan panics. She leaves the body. She runs. Because she is a tailor. She does not know how to make this disappear, but she knows one man who might. Megan goes to Dean, and 10 years collapse in an instant. There is only one name Megan can think of. One person powerful enough to handle something like this. Dean Russo. She finds him, and the moment Dean Russo looks up and sees her face, something happens behind his eyes. Something shifts, because he recognizes her immediately. This is her. The girl from Blue Jade, the one he has been looking for. She is standing right in front of him. She does not recognize him. Not yet. She is too scared, too shaken, too focused on what she has to say. She tells him everything. The client, the struggle, the gun, the body on the floor. Her voice trembles, but she does not collapse. She is holding herself together by sheer will. Dean listens, and then she tells him the name. Luca Marini. The room goes tight. Marco immediately steps forward and says what everyone in that world already knows. Luca is one of the Marini twins, the Russo family's most hated rivals. This is not just a problem. This could start a war. Megan keeps going, telling Dean that she panicked, that she just left the body there, that she has nowhere else to go. Dean turns and gives Marco a single order: take care of it. Marco pushes back. This could cause serious consequences. Dean does not repeat himself. That was an order. Then Dean looks at Megan, and he tells her the words that change everything. You did the right thing coming to me. Now you're under my protection. You have nothing to worry about. But before she walks away, he makes her agree to one condition. She must do everything he says. She agrees immediately. Anything, she tells him. Anything. What Megan cannot possibly know in this moment is that Dean Russo is not just protecting a woman in trouble. He is protecting the girl he has been looking for his entire adult life. The girl who once saved him. The girl he promised himself he would one day be strong enough to protect. That night, his men dump Luca's body in the river outside of town. One detail is left behind. One of Luca's cufflinks, but Dean notices it, and quietly, before anything else can go wrong, he has a matching suit collected in the morning. A perfect alibi. Built in the dark, without Megan even knowing. Luca's funeral. Lorenzo closes in. Word spreads fast. Luca Marini's body has been found in the river, and Lorenzo is not grieving quietly, he is hunting. Megan calls Fiona, her voice low and urgent. She tells her to play dumb if anyone asks questions. Just blame everything on me, she says. Fiona refuses to hear it. She tells Megan she would never sell her out, that Megan is like a sister to her, that she was there when nobody else was. On the other end of the phone, Megan's hand tightens around the receiver. She needed to hear that more than she realized. Then Jimmy calls, and what he says stops her cold. Lorenzo Marini is at the boutique. He needs the suit that was tailored for Luca. For the funeral. Megan goes back to work. She has no choice. She walks in steady and straight, and she keeps her face like stone. Lorenzo comes in like a storm that has not broken yet. He is controlled, polite on the surface, but every word out of his mouth is a probe. He tells her Luca mentioned her, called her his greatest challenge, the only woman he could never charm. Megan does not flinch. She says she knows nothing. She was just a name on his list. She goes to get the suit. Lorenzo calls her back. Stop. His gut is telling him something. He watches her the way a predator watches prey. He says she is hiding something. She denies it again, and then he sees it. Luca's cufflink, sitting on Megan's work table. Everything changes in an instant. Lorenzo grabs her. The gun comes out. He demands to know what she knows, and he is not asking politely. The door opens. Dean Russo. He walks into that room with the kind of calm that only truly dangerous men carry. His eyes find Lorenzo's, and he says 5 words that land like a declaration of war. Get your gun off my woman. His woman. 2 words tucked inside 5. Lorenzo stares at him. Dean says it again. He will not repeat himself. When Lorenzo hesitates, Dean explains the cufflink. Megan was repairing it. A tailor. She had nothing. Lorenzo has nothing. Leave. Lorenzo lets her go. But as he walks out, he makes himself very clear. If he finds out she had anything to do with Luca's death, everyone she knows will disappear. Once he is gone, Dean turns to Megan and tells her the only safe option now. Move into the penthouse. It is the only way to keep her protected. He holds up the cufflink. The proof that his men had already thought of everything the night before. Just in time, he tells her. He also gives her something else. A small device. A tracker. He tells her it is to keep her safe, so that he can always find her. She must answer whenever he calls. He does not say it like a request. She agrees anyway. She moves in. Inside the penthouse, where cold walls start to crack. Life inside Dean's world is not what Megan expected. She expected distance. She got something much more complicated. One morning, Dean takes her to his private gym, a space he usually uses alone. He tells her to show him what she has got. She looks at him like he cannot be serious. He is completely serious. He tells her to spread her feet and put her hands up. She throws a punch. He dodges it without effort. She throws another. He steps around it like it is nothing. He is not mocking her. He is teaching her. Always look for an opening, he tells her. They move through drills together. 1, 2, 1, 2. The space between them keeps shrinking. At one point they collide and the moment goes still. Charged, warm, electric. And then Megan sees something that stops her completely. A woman, standing just outside, watching them through the glass. She tells Dean what she saw. He does not look surprised. He looks at her steadily and tells her she has nothing to worry about. There has never been another woman. There is only ever been one. That night he tells her the truth. He tells her he became a mafia boss because of her. He explains it slowly. A night years ago when he was helping a friend and things went badly wrong. He was in bad shape. And a girl, without hesitation, helped him. Did not ask why. Did not ask for anything in return. Just helped. She told him, anytime you need help, find me. I will protect you. He trusted her instantly. Not because she was powerful, because she was real. And from that moment on, he worked his way to the top so that when he found her again, he would be strong enough to be what she needed. Megan sits with that. She looks at this man, feared by an entire city, surrounded by armed guards and hard decisions, and sees something underneath all of it. A boy who remembered a kindness. A man who built a kingdom around a promise. But not everything in the penthouse is soft revelations and quiet mornings. Her name is Katrina. She lives on the property working as the gardener, the daughter of one of the Russo family elders whose death hit her hard. Dean let her stay out of loyalty to her father. What Dean did not seem to register, or chose not to address, was that Katrina had developed something deeply obsessive toward him. She believed she was his. She believed she was the one and only. The moment Katrina sees Megan, something in her snaps. Without warning, she attacks, hitting her, screaming at her, accusing her of being there to hurt Dean. It takes Marco physically pulling her back to stop it. Megan does not back down. She does not run. But the look in Katrina's eyes stays with her long after the garden goes quiet again. Marco tells her later that Katrina means nothing to Dean. He has known Mr. Russo for years, and Megan is the only one he has ever truly had eyes for. She stores that information somewhere careful, because in this world, jealousy can be just as deadly as a gun. The cosplay party, and danger on Dean's own turf. For a short time, life exhales, but then Jimmy calls. There is a VIP cosplay party at the Octopus Lounge, Dean's own club. High-profile clients. Fiona was invited too, though she already backed out. Jimmy is practically begging, just this once. Marco warns her. Dean will not like this. It is too dangerous. Megan goes anyway. Because it is Dean's club, what could possibly go wrong on his own turf? Almost everything, as it turns out. Jimmy greets her warmly at the party and introduces her to a man named Ben. He is polished and charming, and everything seems fine until Jimmy casually drops that Ben works with the Marini organization. Megan goes cold. But before she can excuse herself, Ben closes in. He knows she was at Luca's mansion the day he died, taking measurements for a custom suit. He tells her, with that same chilling smoothness, that Lorenzo already knows who did it, that nobody fools the Marini family and gets away clean. Megan keeps her face steady and tells him he does not scare her. He leans closer. He smiles. Then another man appears. He uses the distraction to grab Marco. He grabs Megan. His hands go where they should not. He calls her sweetheart like it is a possession. Megan tells him to let go of Marco. He laughs. Dean walks in. 3 seconds. That is all it takes for the entire room to shift. The men who were bold a moment ago look like they want to disappear through the floor. Dean does not shout. He does not need to. He tells the man what will happen to his legs if he is ever this foolish again, and every single person in that room believes him completely. He takes Megan home, and she pushes back. She is not his property. She has a life. She has a backbone. She went to his own club. Dean looks at her, and through the cold and the frustration, something real comes out. You are not my property, Megan. You are my woman, but you sure know how to make me want to take care of you. Fiona, the weight that shatters everything. For a little while, something almost like peace settles in, the kind of quiet that happens between storms when you do not yet know the next one is already coming. The night Lorenzo comes for blood. After the party incident, life inside the penthouse stays tense. Then word comes. Lorenzo is on the move again, and this time he is not sending messengers. He is coming himself. Dean gets the warning just in time. He pulls Megan close and tells her to stay down. Whatever happens, stay down. He kisses her quickly, almost urgently, and tells her if something goes wrong, Marco will take care of everything. She reaches for his arm. He is already moving. The attack hits fast. Lorenzo arrives with men, and the chaos that follows is brutal and close. Marco fights alongside Dean, taking blow after blow, refusing to go down even as blood runs. He is hit badly. Megan, who Dean told to stay down, does not stay down. She cannot. She hears Marco's name being called and she moves. She gets there just in time. She fights. Not perfectly, not trained, but fiercely with everything she has. She holds off one of Lorenzo's men long enough for Dean to reach Marco. Lorenzo screams at her from across the space, telling her she is dead. She does not run. She holds her ground. Lorenzo escapes, but the night ends with Dean pulling Megan out, Marco alive but badly wounded, and a car racing toward the mountains. The mountain's safe house, a moment stolen from the war. They reach the mountain's safe house, exhausted and raw. It is Russo territory, high up, quiet, untouchable. Dean tells Megan she can sleep easy here. She asks about Marco. Dean tells her he will recover. He also tells her, gently, without accusation, that what she did tonight was brave, but also reckless. She should have listened. Megan says she will apologize to Marco. She also says she is glad she was there. In that space between the violence and what comes next, something loosens between them. Dean puts on music. He looks at her across the dim room. Dance with me, he says. She stares at him. She asks, seriously, if he actually dances. Of course I dance, he tells her. There is no modesty for people like us. People like us, she repeats. A mafia king, he says simply, and his queen. They dance. Slowly, close, with the weight of everything they just survived wrapped around them like a second skin. He pulls her nearer and tells her she has quite the appetite tonight. She lifts her chin and says only when it comes to him. He smiles, a real one, rare and earned, and they stay in that stolen moment for as long as the world allows. Katrina's breakdown, when obsession becomes violence. Before the elders arrive, Katrina's obsession reaches its breaking point inside the penthouse itself. She forces her way into the room where Dean and Megan are, gun raised, screaming. She tells everyone not to move. She shouts that Megan is hers, that Dean is hers, that she was there long before Megan ever arrived. Marco tries to step in. Katrina does not lower the weapon. Dean does something that takes everyone in that room by surprise. He goes calm, completely, deliberately calm. He speaks to Katrina the way you speak to someone standing on a ledge. He tells her quietly that he knows she has feelings for him, that he understands, that they can talk this through. He tells her, with just enough softness to reach her, that she is right. He does have feelings for her. Katrina's grip loosens slightly. Really? She whispers. Always, he says. Just put the gun down. The moment she lowers it, Marco moves. Dean nods. And just like that, the moment is over. Katrina realizes what happened. She screams. She collapses. She is removed from the room, and Dean closes the door on the chapter that was Katrina's place in the Russo world. She was never his. She was always an obsession looking for somewhere to land. Megan, once it is over, asks him straight, did he actually have feelings for Katrina? Dean looks at her with something that is almost amusement. He told her what she needed to hear to put the gun down. That is it. You are the only one that matters, he tells her. And he says it with the same certainty he says everything, without needing her to believe it, because he already knows it is true. Then the elders arrive. Lucy Walter and Will Russo, the two people who ran the Russo family before Dean. They show up unannounced, cold and furious, calling Megan a distraction, a seduction, a liability. They say Dean is risking the entire organization. They say this war is her fault. Megan tries to speak. She tells them she never meant for any of this to happen. She only came to Dean because she had nowhere else to go. Dean shuts the conversation down completely. His loyalty to Megan is not a subject for debate. She saved his life, and he made her a promise. And if he says she is worth the risk, she is worth the risk. The elders leave, fuming. But while that argument was happening inside those walls, something monstrous was happening outside them. Katrina had already made her decision. She went to Lorenzo Marini. She gave him everything. The location of Fiona's safe house, the routes Dean's men used, the internal secrets she had spent years collecting simply by being close to the Russo family. She told Lorenzo she had something valuable to trade, Dean and Megan's location, and the information about Fiona. She said Fiona's death would send a message. Lorenzo's men moved that same night. Fiona, brave, loyal, irreplaceable Fiona, was found dead in her apartment. Marco comes to the door late that night. His face says everything before his words do. Dean listens. Then he turns to Megan. The news lands like a physical thing. Megan cannot breathe. She keeps saying it out loud like the words might somehow rearrange themselves into something different. She's not supposed to die. She's not supposed to die. Over and over. Dean stands close, tells her Fiona will not die in vain. He swears it. Intel confirms the source within hours. Only a handful of people knew about that safe house. Katrina had sold the location to Lorenzo. She had traded Fiona's life for a chance to hurt Megan and drag Dean back toward her. Dean gives the order immediately. Find her. Make sure she does not take another breath. But Megan sits in the grief for a long time. Fiona was not collateral damage in someone else's war. She was a woman with a life and a laugh and a best friend who would have given anything to protect her. And she is gone because Katrina's obsession was more important to her than an innocent woman's life. The grief hardens slowly into something else, something that feels a lot like resolve, the plan, and a woman who refuses to be left out. In the days that follow, Dean pulls Megan close again. He tells her he has been building toward this for months, a plan to end the Marini threat once and for all. He has had an informant embedded inside Lorenzo's organization for a long time, someone whose identity he has protected carefully. And now the moment has finally arrived. He tells her about a tradition Lorenzo keeps. Every year, without fail, he makes a visit to an ancestral hall on the mountainside to pay his respects, sometimes with many men, sometimes alone. The visit is planned for next week, and Lorenzo believes the Russos are on the run, hiding, beaten, afraid. He will not see it coming. Megan asks to come. Dean says no. Flat and final. The battlefield is no place for her. She pushes back. She deserves to be there. Lorenzo killed Fiona. Lorenzo pointed a gun at her head. Lorenzo has made her feel powerless in her own life for weeks. She is not a victim. She refuses to sit somewhere safe and wait while the man who destroyed her best friend walks around breathing. Dean does not budge. He tells her she will dance on Lorenzo's grave, but until then, she stays safe. He orders Marco to make the preparations. Megan goes quiet. Quiet, in her case, does not mean surrender. Before Dean leaves, he takes her somewhere private. He loads a gun and places it in her hands. A woman needs to know how to shoot, he tells her, accurately. His world is dangerous, and she needs to be ready. He stands behind her, guides her grip, talks her through it. 2 hands, Line up through the sight, steady. She fires. She makes the shot. He tells her she looks like a mafia queen. She tells him she does not feel so powerless anymore. Then, the mood shifts. She looks at him, this man she has watched go from terrifying to tender over the course of weeks, and she tells him she is scared. Not of Lorenzo, of losing him. Dean meets her eyes and makes her a promise with the full weight of everything he has survived behind it. I will always come home. He tells her something else that night. Something quiet and raw. He tells her it has been 10 years that he dreamed of her, and now that dream is finally becoming real. 2 broken pieces, he tells her. When they come together, they make a whole. He tells her he loves her. The night before, and a decision made in the dark. The informant makes contact. Lorenzo is headed to the ancestral hall on the mountainside the next day. Dean and Marco prepare to leave, just the 2 of them. No backup. More bodies means more complications, more variables, more ways for everything to go wrong. They leave before dawn. Megan watches from a window. Her chest is tight. Her hands will not stop shaking. She waits. She tells herself to trust him. She waits a little longer. Then she slips past the guards. Because Megan Shaw did not survive everything she has survived in the past weeks, just to sit in a penthouse and pray. The ancestral hall, where it all comes to an end. Dean finds Lorenzo exactly where the informant said he would be. The confrontation is everything the weeks of tension have been building toward. There are no more games, no more threats sent through other people. Just the 2 men who have been circling each other through a war built on grief and vengeance. Lorenzo is cornered, but cornered men do not go quietly. And then Katrina appears. She has Marco at gunpoint. Dean's most loyal man. The person who has been at his side through every battle, every scar, every impossible decision. Katrina's hand is steady. Her eyes are wild with something beyond anger, something that looks like a person who has already decided nothing matters anymore. She gives Dean an ultimatum she has clearly rehearsed 100 times alone in the dark. Megan, or me. The silence in that space is absolute. Dean does not hesitate, not for a single second. Megan is the love of my life. I will love her until my last breath. Katrina's face crumbles. Then something inside her breaks completely. She stops aiming at Megan. She turns the gun toward Dean instead, and the moment slows down. A shot breaks the silence. And Megan Shaw, who was told to stay home, who was told she did not belong on this battlefield, who was told she would only be a liability, is standing there with a gun in her steady hands. She just saved Dean's life. Nobody touches my man. Dean stares at her. He is furious and overwhelmed, and so completely in love with her in that single, breathless moment that there is no room left for anything else. Katrina is dealt with. She is removed from the story she tried so hard to write herself into, which leaves Lorenzo. He is on the ground, beaten, out of options. He looks up at the 2 people he spent weeks hunting, and now he is the one who has nothing. He begs. He says the word mercy like he believes it means something coming from him. Dean tells him not to beg him. Beg her. Megan looks at Lorenzo Marini, the man who killed her best friend, who hunted her, who made her feel helpless in her own life for weeks. She tells him the truth one final time. Luca's death was an accident. She never wanted any of this. She never wanted war. She never wanted bodies. She has been carrying the weight of Fiona's death every single day, and she will carry it for the rest of her life. Lorenzo says he understands now. He says he is sorry. He asks to be spared. Dean steps in quietly. He tells Megan, without pressure, without pushing her, that this man has been shown mercy before. He points to the scar on Lorenzo's face. That scar is from him. He spared Lorenzo once, years ago, when he had this exact same opportunity. And Lorenzo used that mercy to send men to kill Fiona. His lies are persuasive, but they are just lies. Megan looks at Lorenzo Marini one final time. Killing you is not murder. It is a public service. She pulls the trigger, and it is over. The ending, where broken pieces become whole. The walk back is quiet, the kind of quiet that comes after thunder, when the air is still charged with everything that just happened, but the storm has finally passed. Dean holds Megan the way a man holds something he was not sure he would ever be allowed to have. He tells her she was brave, beautiful, unstoppable, exactly what he needs from the woman at his side. She laughs softly, and tells him the pressure is a lot. And then Dean Russo, the most feared man in the city, the man who has never once begged for anything, gets down on one knee. Megan Shaw, will you marry me? She does not hesitate for even a second. Yes, 1,000 times yes. The ceremony is everything this story deserved. Small, surrounded by the people who survived the fire alongside them. Megan in white, Dean in a suit, perfectly fitted of course, because she made it herself, with her own hands. For the man who spent 10 years building his empire quietly, patiently, in the hope of one day being worthy of standing beside her. The officiant moves through the vows. When he asks Megan if she takes Dean, she says, I do, without a single waver. When he asks Dean, the man who once told her he would always come home, the man looks at the woman who saved his life not once but twice, and he says, I do, forever and always. They are pronounced husband and wife, And when they kiss, it is not just a kiss, it is 10 years of searching. It is a cufflink left behind, and a body in a river, and a woman standing in the middle of a mafia boss's world with blood on her hands and nowhere else to turn. It is a shooting lesson in a quiet room, and a dance at a mountain safe house, and two people calling each other theirs before they were even sure it was true. It is Fiona, gone too soon, never forgotten. It is every impossible moment that brought them here. It is two broken people who found each other in the darkest city at the darkest hour, and chose, every single day, through every threat and every betrayal and every reason not to be each other's home. And that, my friends, is exactly the kind of love story they never warn you about. The kind that starts with a tailor and a dead body and ends with a wedding. The kind where the man who makes an entire city go quiet becomes completely undone by one woman with steady hands and an unbreakable will. The kind where survival becomes devotion and devotion becomes forever. Megan Shaw did not ask for any of this. She was just a woman doing her job on the wrong night with the wrong client. But she refused, every single time she had the chance to break, to become a victim. She fought Katrina in a garden. She walked into a party full of enemies. She slipped past guards and showed up on a battlefield she was told was not hers. And Dean? Dean remembered a kindness for 10 years. He built a kingdom around it. He waited with a patience that most people cannot understand. Not obsessively, not possessively, just with the quiet certainty that if he became the right man, she would one day walk back into his world. And she did, under the worst possible circumstances, and he was ready. They were both broken when they found each other. They said it themselves, two broken pieces, but together they were whole. If you love this recap, hit that like button and subscribe right now. We recap dramas like this every single week. Drop in the comments below, who was the real hero of this story? Megan, Dean, or the love between them? See you in the next one.